Hi class, go ahead and turn to page OP12 of your science notebook. The title is Motion ECQs. Remember this semester we're dedicating one whole page for the questions and the other side for the answers. So on OP12 it is only for 2 questions today. Number 1, define position, reference point, reference direction, and motion. And then leave a few spaces and write down everything for number 2. Number 2 says, how is the reference point, or RP, and the reference direction, RD, used to describe position? Give an example. Please do write down the instructions. It says use 2 to 3 sentences and point out what is the RP and RD. You can pause the video now so everyone can finish writing this down before moving on. On the right side, on page IP12, this is your ECQ answers. So leave space for answers 1 and 2 of your ECQ questions. You will answer this after your notes are done. If you have a page tab, you want to stick a page tab on page 12 before moving on. For your notes, you'll turn to the next page on page 13. The title is Motion. You don't have to draw any of these pictures unless I say so. And the essential question of your notes is this: how do we use a reference point and reference direction to describe position and motion? Pause the video now to finish before moving on. Position is defined as the location of an object or place. So when you look on a map, you're looking for your position or your location and then figuring out where to go from there. When you're using a GPS, that's a global positioning system. It's finding where you are, your location, and then it helps you get to another spot or another location. Right? So location and position are basically the same meaning, have the same meaning. Number 2, reference point is a location that you compare other locations to. It's a comparison point. So we often call it the origin or the start of something. So for example, if you're starting in a board game, you start at one spot, that's your origin, that's your reference point. And how far away you move from there, right, is how close you are to winning, right? So your reference point is how far you are away from the beginning, if that makes sense. A reference direction is a direction used to compare your reference point and position. So when you're comparing where something is, you have to kind of say where it is. You use a preposition. So you might say things like in front of, oops, go back, or behind, left, right, up, down, north, south, east, west. If you actually look around the classroom, there are north, south, east, west signs on the 4 walls of the classroom somewhere. Just look very high up near the ceilings and you should see them. That actually shows you which way is north, south, east, and west. Towards the west side, you'll be getting closer and closer to the beach. So like Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, all the beach areas of Southern California. The eastern side would take you towards San Bernardino. The northern side, southern sides, are the other parts around us. And so reference direction tells you which way to go. When you describe position, you always give a reference point and a reference direction. So for example, the bicycle is next to the stop sign. The stop sign is your actual reference point. It's what you're comparing the bicycle to. It's like, where's the bike? Next to the stop sign, right? So your stop sign is your reference point. Next to is your direction. So it tells you where it is compared to that stop sign. Is it to the right of the stop sign, the left of the stop sign, behind the stop sign, in front of the stop sign? That's your direction. And in this picture, he's just next to it. You could even say left of the stop sign. I think that would be a better reference direction. Motion is actually what we're studying this whole new unit, and it's the change of position over time. It can be described by showing how distance from the reference point changes with time. So, for example, this jumper is starting here on the right side of the beach, and over time, she has gone from here, all the way to the other side. And so over time, she has changed her distance, right? She's changed her position, her location. She's moved. So that's how you know something has moved, because it's gone somewhere else during a certain amount of time. And that's it for your notes. So, now that we're done with your notes, you're going to go back through your notes and make questions on the left side. Use the following question words to help you out, but remember, do not repeat any of the question words. I don't want to see the word define 2 or 3 times on the left side. Use it just once, and then use another question word. And know what questions, please. And when you're done with questions, you'll write your summary. As always, your summary must answer the essential question for your notes. It should be written at the very top of your notes when we started. Summarize it in 3 sentences. You can write more if you want. And remember to number and highlight the periods you have at the end. If you are done with your notes and your questions and your summary, then please go back and answer your 2 ECQ questions. That second ECQ question might be a little tough, so look through your notes carefully for some of the examples that were there, some of the examples I talked about, and think of how you can use that and your example, or come up with your own. Thank you very much, and if this class is finished super early and you finished ECQs and you've shared them out loud with each other and agree upon the answers, then you can go back and do the next slide. The next slide is called the motion illustration on page OP13. This is only if you're done with all the ECQs as a class as a whole and the answers have been shared. You would create a colored picture of any object in motion. So it could be anything, an airplane, a soccer ball, a bee, a person, but if it's a stick figure, remember they have clothes, they're not naked, and they have a face, and they follow the laws of gravity. A ballerina, a mouse, a cat, whatever you want that's moving somehow or another. You may do this in one picture or use a comic strip. Your picture must take up most of the page, so I do not want a bunch of white blank spots. You must also include a summary, and there are 5 sentences in your summary at least. The first one should tell you who or what is the object in motion. The second one describes the motion of the object. How is it moving? What is it doing? Where is it going? Number 3, describe the starting and final position of the object. Where did it start and where did it end at? And number 4, what is the reference point? Right? Which part of your picture is the reference point? And number 5, which part of your picture is that reference direction? Which way is it going from that starting point? Right? So these are your 5 sentences at the very end. You do want to number and highlight them and put it into a paragraph. And there should be color, which means it's not just plain old pen, pencil, black and white don't count. It's got to have at least 4 different colors, like red, green, yellow, and purple. At least 4 different colors or more. All right? Thank you, and have a wonderful day.